Hey, hi everyone. I welcome you all to this YouTube channel called Akshay Nandwana, and I'm Akshay Nandwana. And today this video is completely for the Android developers who are looking for a complete roadmap, like what should be the topic we need to learn and how we can become a job ready person, a job ready developer, a job ready Android engineer, and how we can get jobs in companies like Swiggy, Zomato, Walmart, Cred, and a lot of other big companies, right? So a complete roadmap and call the topics we will be talking about, like what are topics you really need to learn and why do you need to learn, and how you can also become an Android engineer, a job ready Android engineer, right? So here we have Android engineer website. This is our website only, androidengineers.in. This is our website. Here you can go to the roadmap section and you can find a lot of roadmaps over here. Now how to use this roadmap, I'll quickly tell you, right? So the very first thing, whenever we learn something new or whenever we focus towards development and coding and these kind of things, we focus on the programming language. What should be the programming language? Here the programming language we are using is Kotlin programming, right? Let's go inside this. Okay, now here you can see we have a lot of topics. Now, whenever you learn any programming language, what all things you really learn, right? Very first thing is how to create a variable, how to call functions, how to create the functions, how to create classes, how to create objects. So these are the major stuff you learn, right? So similarly, we are also talking about a lot of things over here. Let's say what you need to learn, right? Kotlin, basic Kotlin, variable data types. What are the data types? How to create the where and well, what kind of variables you can create, string templates, string operations, input, output. These are the major stuff you really need to learn. After that, the control flows, if and else condition, your for loops, your different type of loops, right? And there is a very interesting thing about the nullability you really need to learn in the Kotlin, right? After that, there is a thing called Elvis operator you really need to learn. You need to make sure that you have an understanding about this double exclamation mark. It is very important in Kotlin, right? After that, you have scope function, again a very important point in Kotlin. Run, also, apply, with. These are the major scope functions you should know, you must know in the Kotlin, right? After that, object oriented classes, object constructor, primary constructor. There's also a thing called init in the Kotlin, init, right? This is also you should learn. After that, inheritance, abstract classes, visibility modifier, data classes. Again, data classes are very important. After that, sealed classes, very important, right? If you know enum, you know about the pain points, and then you understand like why do you really need a sealed class, right? After that, we have object declaration, companion objects. If you are coming from Java, you know about static, right? So companion objects is one of those kinds, right? After that, you should know about arrays, list, different type of collection objects, right? Sequences, sorting, searching algorithms. If you are like fresher, you already know about those time complexity, space complexity. You must be reading nowadays only, right? So you should know these kind of things. After that, functional programming language, how to pass a function from a function, how to take a function as a parameter, right? These are the very important stuff. Inline, these is also very important. Inline, no inline, cross line. These are the very important parts in the Kotlin, right? After that, try catch, basic thing. You must know how to throw an exception, how to catch an exception, how to handle the exception. These are the very important parts. Generic classes. These are the again very important. Refined type. Must know about refined type. See what is the refined type in Kotlin. Learn about that. After that, coroutine. I'll talk about coroutine in a different manner right now, different section. But right now, these are the, I think that is something till 10. This 10 number. This 10. If you if you learn Kotlin till this 10, then this is pretty much good for you, I would say. After that, there's kind of like an advanced topic and these kind of things, right? So if you want to be a job ready, then I think that is something, it's kind of like a threshold for you, that's something good to go for you, right? After the Kotlin, how to become an Android job ready, right? That is something you need to make sure. So we will be learning about Android fundamental, core Android thing. What are the core Android things? Like, let's take this. Basic stuff is SDK, a good one, right? You should know about what are the SDKs, Android 15, 16, whatever it is, and what are the differences and all the things. After that, the very first thing you need to know is activity life cycle, fragment life cycle, right? Different components. After that, services, broadcast receiver, content provider, manifest file. What is the manifest file in Android? Context, The context is very important thing in the Android, right? You must know where to use, how to use, because if you don't use it properly, then there will be like memory leaks and issues like that, right? You should know about how to create the UI on the Android, right? There's an older thing of XML where you need to learn about linear layout, relative layout, constant layout, and these kind of things. There's a new thing called Jetpack Compose, which we also take classes, which we also take master classes. If you want to join Jetpack Compose master classes, you can go to our masterclass section and join the cohort, whichever is ongoing. But right, coming back to this roadmap, you should know a basic about XML, so that let's say whenever if you see any kind of XML code base, you must understand. After that, the compose is the main part. We will be taking the compose as a different roadmap, but right now the Android fundamental is these are the things. Drawable resources, the basic stuff again, right? So activity, fragment, intent. Intents are the very important thing. Explicit intent, implicit intent, how you are passing the data using this intent, right? Recycler view, what is the recycler view, how to use it. Data storage, again a very important part. How you are going to store the data, again we will be talking in a different roadmap for this. For now, these are the like very important sub points, right? Data storage, networking, background processing, these are the important things. Notification, very important thing. You must create a basic project, a side project, where you know where you understand, where you create a notification system by yourself. So it's very important, right? After that, device, sensor, and these are the architecture stuff. Again, a lot of things, right? But a basic thing: activity, fragment, service, background processing, those are the basic stuff you should know, right? Coming to the Jetpack Compose, coming to the Jetpack Compose, right? So in the Jetpack Compose, like you should know Jetpack Compose that much, so that you can at least create a basic UI, right? And you understand about the recomposition and all. So I'll quickly start from here. A declarative imperative. What is a declarative imperative UI? That's again one point. After that, composable function. What is the annotation of the composable function, right? Compose compiler. What is the compose compiler? Button, images, text field, different kind of components you should know about. After that, layout, right? Containers, basically your row, column, boxes, those kind of things, right? Arrangement, how you are going to arrange everything in a single screen. That's also an important part. After that, a very important concept in the Jetpack Compose is the state management, state hosting, how we are going to manage the state, right? Lot of things over written over here. How we are going to create a list. So earlier in the XML, we used to use those recycler view, right? But now what we are going to use when we are talking about the Jetpack Compose, right? So that these are the things, right? Theming, how we are create different kind of themes, how we are going to use custom fonts. So those are the again important thing. Navigation system, a complete navigation system in Jetpack Compose. Are you going to use any kind of third-party library? If not, then how you are going to navigate between different screens in the Jetpack Compose? That is something again important part. Bottom navigation, important thing. Animation is something you should know about, right? How to animate things in the Jetpack Compose, because just a one-liner thing. So it's a good to learn about, right? After that, a slot API, slot gap buffer, those kind of things you should know, which we keep teaching student in our master classes. So you can join master class by going to the master class, right? And in interoperability, integration, these are the things you should also know about, right? If there is an XML layout and if you want to put a small part of Jetpack Compose in it, how you can do that. So that's also something you should know about it, right? It's a must kind of thing. Testing, performance optimization, lot of other topics are there, right? Let's go back. Coroutines. Now, coroutine is very important. Let's say in our application, we have to do a lot of background processing, or we have to do a lot of things. A complete asynchronous system where we need to switch threads if we want to do something on a background thread or different thread, or how the CPU intensive work. So that is something where your coroutine is very important, right? If I can show you in a brief over here, suspending function, builders, context, dispatchers, right? How we are going to handle the cancellation of coroutines. So those are the very important. Lot of things have been written over here, but I'm quickly going on a brief. Suspend function, right? Blocking function. What are the blocking functions? Suspending function. Structured concurrency, very important. You should know about it. Parallel API calls. How to do the parallel API calls, right? What are the job hierarchies? That's also one of the important thing. Global scope, must know about global scope. We have a lot of blogs we have written in the Substack. I'll attach the link of Substack in the description below, but you should know about global scope. There's a lot of blogs we have written, right? So context, coroutine context, Dispatches, very important. This is something like a lot of people ask this question in the interview as well, right? Dispatches, what are the dispatches? With context, how you switch the thread, that is something very important over here, right? Custom dispatcher, how you can create your custom dispatches, a very important thing over here. After that, default, lazy, undispatch, atomic, lot of other things are there as well, right? But basic things you should know about whatever we have just discussed, right? Exception handling is one of the things, right? How you handle the exception when any coroutine or job gets failed, or any throw any kind of exception, something like that. After that, flows are also one of the systems. So if you know about pub/sub system, publisher subscriber system, where one is someone who is going to emit the data, and when there is someone who is like listening the data, like emitting and collecting the data. So you should know about the flow system, right? Cold and flow builder, cold hot thing, side effects of this thing, channel flow, callback flow. These are the important things, very important thing, right? State flow, shared flow, very must. You should know about state flow, shared flow, right? After that, view model, scope, lifecycle scope. This kind of functions collect as state with lifecycle functions. Views repeat on lifecycle functions, right? Channels, it's kind of like a basic stuff. Channels, but where it's kind of like a very okay to have an understanding about the channels, right? After that, integration with the networking, right? How you can call a network API call, how you can do the background work, how you can do any kind of storage work with the help of this coroutine. So that is also a very important thing over here. Testing, how you are going to test the coroutines, that's also a very important thing to learn about, right? So okay, now coming back to the Android architecture, a very important thing. People keep asking that, hey, I'm just a fresher, why should I need to learn architecture, and what kind of architecture should I learn, right? So I would say all you need to understand is the MVVM with some kind of solid principle. Just understand solid principle, MVVM architecture, and that's something that's okay for you. That's good to go. The solid principle in the Android, we have blog written completely. You can learn there those things, all the SOLID, all the concepts, right? Dependency inversion, separation of concerns. This is something very a must for you, right? View model, how view model works internally. What are the pub/sub thing? How the live data is observing the complete observer pattern, right? After that, you have MVVM. It's a must learn to go to learn. Model, what is model? What is UI layer, model layer, data domain layer, repository pattern, use case patterns. So these are the very important things. Clean architecture. If you are going with the clean architecture, then what all interfaces, abstract class, you should know about basic stuff. Then you will be able to do all these kind of things, right? There is a new thing as MVI architecture as well. Model, view, intent. So what is a model, what is view, what is intent, how they are connected with each other. That is something you must know, right? After that, dependency injection with dagger, with hilt, with coin, with whatever you want, but you should know about dependency injection. That is the major part, not the dagger, or not any kind of third-party library, right? Hilt, you should know about hilt, right? You can use hilt. Reactive programming, right? We're not talking about complete RX Java, but you should have an understanding about the reactive program. What is the reactive programming, right? After that, I would say yeah, offline first approach. So whenever you are going for any kind of, like, let's say system design interview, right? And they will say you that, hey, you should learn about, you should, can you create a system where once the API fetching is done, then the data should be here only, right? User should be able to do the offline understanding with the application as well. So offline first architecture, that is something you should know about, right? After that, what we can have, yeah, I think other parts are like really a good to have kind of thing, but yeah, those are the very important parts. After that, networking. Most of the people networking, it's like they are doing with the retrofit. If you have any other library you are using for retro other than retrofit for networking, please comment in the comment section and tell me like what are the things you are using. But yeah, retrofit, asynchronous programming, authentication, real-time communication, maybe like a WebSocket or something, streaming of the data, caching, offline support, HTTP client libraries, authentication, security. So these are the kind of things you should know about, from starting from very basic of like JSON and HTTP protocols. So these are the things you should starting from very thing. Yeah, there was a earlier thing called Volley. It's also, yeah, you should know about Volley. It's a very interesting thing, right? So yeah, all the basic stuff. The important thing over here is this multi-base URL. That's also one thing. That's multi-part request. So one of the things, let's say if someone is saying to you that you need to upload an image, you need to upload a video, then how you are going to upload that, right? If the So that's where these multi-part request and file uploads will come into the picture. You should know about async task, although it's a legacy thing, but it's good to understand, right, what other people, earlier people used to create and why it, what the problem it faces, right? So that's also a good to learn kind of thing. Error handling, whenever there's no result from network coming or any error in coming while networking, then these are the kind of things you should know about. Authentication, again, authentication, if there is any kind of refresh token or authentication token is there in between, so it's good to learn about that. Caching is also one of the thing. Real-time communication, GraphQL is something, is also something very interesting thing you can learn about. So yeah, these are the major parts. After that, data storage. So now you are thinking like there is like too much things are there, but don't worry. These are the like things are divided into different parts so that you can feel okay how to learn things one by one. So that's why I'm going on every roadmap one by one, right? Data storage. So there are like different type of storage in your Android devices, right? You can put in the shared preference, you can put in data store, SQLite database, right? A volatile system, a file system. So all those kind of things I've written over here, right? So you should know about room, how you can use the room, how you can use the data store. Even you can know about like proto, right? What are the protocol buffers? So those are the very important thing. How you can read a file like complete CRUD operation, CRUD operation, whatever you pronounce it. After that, caching strategy. Caching is something coming everywhere. So you should have a basic understanding about the caching. So that's also an important thing. And yeah, all the things are again the similar stuff, just breaking down into multiple topics. So yeah, Android security is completely like an advanced topic. You can give it a try. After that, all the topics below over here are a kind of thing which if you don't even do, it's completely fine, right? Kotlin multiplatform, if you're not doing it right now, it's completely fine. Kotlin Cook, completely fine, not doing. System design is something you can give it a try and see like what all things are there in the system design. I'll give you a complete overview quickly right now over here. An architecture fundamental, threading, right? Networking, data synchronization, performance optimization, architecture patterns, caching, memory management. So these are the stuff. So I would say like explore this thing, explore this part. Again, now the important part is data structure. It's a must. It's a very must. You should know about data structure, array, linked list, strings, stack, queue, hash table, heaps, trees, graphs. It's a kind of like a, you can't skip this. You can't skip this. Algorithms. You can't skip this. Sorting algorithm, divide, conquer, DP, greedy, searching algorithm, recursion, graph algorithm. You can't skip this thing. You should know about this. And now the important part, if you think that I am someone who can't do data structures, algorithms directly right away, the best thing you can do over here is the best thing you can do is go to this blind 75. This is one of the one of the roadmap we have written over here. Blind 75. Go to this blind 75. There are 75 questions. Each question, if you click over here, you go to the lead code of this particular question, right? So these are the 75 questions which are a mix of easy, medium, hard question, right? All you have to do is solve this question. The first thing you need to do, if you have any kind of notepad or something right now, please stop this video, take your notepad and start writing. Very first thing you need to do, start with easy question, solve the easy question. If you're not able to solve the easy question, it's completely fine. Give it a try with a brute force. Even if you can't do that, see the question answers anywhere on the internet, right? But do the first question, second question, third question, and try to track your duration, like how long the duration you are taking to solve that particular question, right? You need to, what duration is coming, right? So what you need to track basically is, if you are able to solve easy question in max 15 minutes, if you are able to solve medium question in max 20-25 minutes, and if you're able to solve even a hard question in 45 minutes, that's a good to go, very much good to go, right? But you should not say that okay, I have solved thousands of questions, then I'm good to go. That's not a correct way, right? That's not a correct parameter to judge yourself. The correct parameter is the time, because now you can understand, okay, in this particular time I can visualize the pattern, I can understand the pattern, I can solve the question. So time is the basic parameter, time is the very important parameter when we are talking about the DSA questions, right? So all you have to do, pick a question and try to solve it. Now from this blind 75 question also, only you have to solve easy and medium questions in a different variations, right? So let's say there is a question of two sum, a popular question everyone knows. Now try to change the input, try to change the output, try to change the constant, try to change the question behavior, and then try to solve it. And try to create a multiple variation of a single question by yourself and see if you are able to solve that question or not, right? If you can do that, that's the best thing, right? So this is what I would say. Now let's conclude this video. I think it's going very long, but I have told you all the topics. I have mentioned all the topics, like what are the things you really need to learn about when if you want to be a job ready Android engineer in the market right now. And also for the master classes, I'll quickly show you the master classes thing as well. So we run the master classes. We have a lot of master classes right now. This ongoing master class is starting from 1st of January. There's one already ongoing, and this is the cohort 2 masterclasses. In this masterclass, what we need to do in this masterclass, we are going to teach you about the Jetpack Compose completely, if with the all the diagrams. And it's not going to be a class where you are going to just see me coding, right? It's not like that. If you can ask other people that how we learn things one by one, foundational stuff. We see the documentation, we see the code inside, how it is working and how to play. And this there will be like a capstone project as well. So after 7 days, you can put this project in your resume, showcase to the HRs and show to the people that okay, this is what you have done in 7 days and this is what you are going to explore, right? So I think what you need to do is go to androidengineers.in, go to the roadmap section and start exploring all these things. So this is all you need to be a good Android engineer. And if you have any other specific question, if you want me to explore any other topic, create video, do some coding or whatever it is, please feel free to put in the chat section, comment section, not the chat section, right? I used to do a lot of session things, but yeah, comment section is very important. So please start putting comments in the comment section, and uh, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.